So before we partake of this meditation, I just wanted to give you a little bit of context. And this is really just so hopefully during the meditation, you won't be having the conceptual thought, what is he talking about? What is this? I want to maybe try to address questions your thinking mind might have before we do the meditation. In our meditation this morning, I'm going to invite you, as I often do, to be as interested in the absence of sound as you are in sound itself. In the sutras, in the sutra teachings on emptiness, that example is given as silence is given as an example of manifest emptiness. Silence is the mere absence of sound. Just like emptiness is the absence of inherent existence. So we can almost look at silence as being a manifest emptiness. And the beauty of this is that it's easier to experience than it is to understand and put words to. Another example, very, very similar, is empty space. Space is the absence of obstructive contact. In other words, space is the absence of stuff being in it, right? And it doesn't arise in dependence upon causes or conditions or parts. Therefore, it is a manifest emptiness. Again, easier to experience than it is to understand and put into words, thank goodness. So forget everything I just said. Just follow my guidance for the meditation, and hopefully we can have a taste of the phenomenon of emptiness. So let's go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture. We can be looking straight ahead with our head tilted slightly forward. This functions to bring our spine perfectly into alignment. Our mouth is closed, our jaw is relaxed. And if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and softly close your eyes. There is an aspect of the body that is referred to sometimes as the inner body. Some schools of meditation refer to it as the subtle body. And by coming into contact with your subtle inner body, you can make manifest a more tranquil, supple state of consciousness. So to accomplish this, I'd like you to please draw your awareness inside of your body and become aware of sensations. These sensations may start in your hands and your feet in the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. No analysis is necessary. There's nothing to figure out. Just be the silent observer of these sensations and allow a more tranquil, supple, non-conceptual state of awareness to emerge. throughout the remainder of this meditation. Indeed, throughout the remainder of your life. Please give yourself permission to be as interested in and compelled by the absence of sound as you are with the sound. Silence is a phenomenon. Silence is not a nothingness. Ultimately, silence is an absence, a very important absence, an absence of sound. In an identical way, your body and your sense of self are ultimately mere absences, absences of any inherent existence. Please continue to resolve to be as interested in the absence of sound as you are in the sound. Just as an experience of the absence of sound is accessible to you, an experience of the emptiness of inherent existence of your sense of self is also accessible. Please resolve over the remainder of your spiritual life, of your spiritual practice. Please try to cultivate a deep resolve to have an experience of the emptiness, the lack of inherent existence of your sense of self, and thus availing yourself to complete and permanent liberation from all forms of suffering. Please gently redirect your awareness and become aware again of your physical body. Please allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside of the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, and become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. We dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely and permanently free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings without exception enjoy fearlessness. May they be contented, peaceful, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, you guys. On Mondays, at Monday's class, I said that we would transition back into our discussion of loving kindness and draw from the book by Sharon Salzberg, Loving Kindness, The Revolutionary Art of Happiness. I've got a little bit more kind of wrap up to do on our sixth perfection, the perfection of wisdom. So a point that I'm not sure that I made entirely clear on Monday's class, having to do with the two profundities of the Heart Sutra. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Form is empty is the part of our discussion that relates to the thing, in our case, the shirt disappearing in its parts. We go to find the shirt, all we can find are parts, and those parts have parts, and those parts have parts, and the shirt ultimately disappears. That's the first profundity. Form is empty. Okay? Yet, out of that space-like emptiness, shirt appears, right? Shirt appears to your mind. Shirt is a mere appearance to your mind. That's a conventional truth. And an example that the classic example that I used to illustrate that is the blue sky. You look up at the sky, you see blue, you fly a plane up there to get closer to the blue. You can't do it because the blue actually, when you get up into it, it disappears. Yet you come back down to the ground, look up, and blue appears to the mind. It's an appearance to mind. Out of space-like emptiness, blue appears. That's the second profundity. Emptiness is form. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Even if you're not sure that you completely understand what especially the second profundity means, the second profundity is actually more difficult to understand than the first. So even if you're not sure you understand what it means, that's okay. Just knowing those words. And I would invite you to do whatever you need to kind of continue to bring to mind these emptiness teachings over the course of your life. Maybe have a note somewhere, or maybe the first thing that you think about, a common symbol of emptiness is the ringing of a bell. Maybe, I haven't thought about it till this very moment, maybe that's because the bell reminds us of the sound, and then a return to silence, which is the absence of sound. In Buddhist teachings, that example is often used, the ringing of the bell, as being a symbol of emptiness. Anyways, whatever it takes, whatever tool you'd like to use, please, I appeal to you in a heartfelt way to not forget about emptiness. I know when I was first starting in my meditation practice, I would receive a teaching on emptiness. It would kind of blow my mind. And then a long time would go by. I wouldn't receive any teachings on emptiness and wouldn't read anything. And then a teacher would give a discourse on emptiness, and I'd be, oh yeah, I forgot that emptiness was a thing, And so I would just invite you to please kind of continue to remind yourself of emptiness. Remind yourself that it's a thing, even if you're not sure you completely understand what it means. So just want to share with you, in what little time we have left, there was a Qigong teacher who came through here very recently. His name is Ishan Das. You might have heard me mention him when I was talking about his Qigong class, and he did a Kirtan class here as well. And he stopped teaching. Attendance was really strong at first, and then it tapered to nearly nothing. And I appealed to Ishan Das to continue to teach his Qigong class. And he said, and Ishan Das, for those of you who haven't met him, is an elder. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's an elder, a revered elder to me. And when I was trying to appeal to him to continue with his Qigong classes, he said to me, these people don't want what I have to offer. And that sounds like a harsh statement. But he went on to say that he said that people are looking to find relief within samsara, within this ocean of suffering. Ishan Das said, they're not really committed to liberation. And he wasn't picking on the patrons of Lotus Center. He was just talking about really the majority of the people of our world. He said they think that they're really just trying to find a little bit of temporary comfort from the sufferings of samsara. They're not really committed to true liberation. That is to say, they haven't really renounced a life that depends on worldly enjoyments. It's like he didn't say this, but an analogy that I've heard many times. He said it's like he didn't say, excuse me, he didn't say this, but in so many words he said it. It's like it's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. It's like samsara necessarily and exclusively leads to decay, sickness, and ultimate dissolution, ultimate death. Or as it relates to the physical body, aging, sickness, suffering, death, decay, suffering, death. Over and over. Trying to find relief, through a little bit of meditation here, maybe a little bit of spiritual readings, maybe a little bit of qigong, just to kind of get a little bit of temporary relief and then get back to, worldly pursuits with a little bit of less suffering. Ishan Das says that's not why I'm in this. He said, I'm in it to get out, to get off of this wheel of suffering, to get out of samsara. And this might come across as being a little bit heavy. I don't want it to be. I want to remind you that you guys now have everything you need to get off of the wheel. That's so amazing. It's so rare. And I'm not taking credit for anything I've said. I'm just up here parroting what masters have said to me and have said to countless others in the past. That's all I am, is a speaker box paraphrasing what the masters have said. You know emptiness now. You know what it is. And you also know the importance of compassion, of allowing compassion to guide you in your path of wisdom, or of trying to grow your wisdom. You have everything you need. The only thing that might be missing is authentic renunciation. Not, I'm going to find comfort on the Titanic, but I'm going to get off the Titanic before it sinks. I'm not going to let it take it down with me. And I just would appeal to you to please contemplate your good fortune, our good fortune, our amazingly rare good fortune here and the opportunity that it presents us. So I'll try to get to Sharon Salzberg on Monday with some lighter, more feel-good teachings on loving kindness and compassion. But for now, thank you for indulging me in my thoughts on renunciation. Have a great day and a great weekend, you guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you're welcome, you guys. Bye-bye, everybody.